choices are appropriate or not. I think it'll work though. Alright, so I guess I'll get started because there's no drop frames. I can start right away. Hi! Today's Thursday? I wrote my blog this morning. I normally blog on Wednesdays, and I wrote it this morning because I lost track of days. I seriously thought today was Wednesday, yesterday. Yeah, that's what happens whenever I go away for a while for conventions. So hi, welcome to the stream. Today I am going to finish up the Amazon Warrior. Hopefully I can get her done and I can get started on the Japanese wood spirit. I couldn't think of the name. So let me get started. So I've got the Amazon Warrior set up. I got a lot done. As you see, I switched around the studio a little bit. I put my ironing board back over here and my strips here because I wanted to be able to move this camera so you could see this a little bit better. In fact, let me move this over. There we go. That way you could see what's happening here, because it made aware yesterday that it was kind of hard to see what was going on, so I wanted to play with the camera angles a little bit. So hopefully today is a little bit better than what yesterday was. So I've got most of the Amazon Warrior finished. I did work on her a little bit today, so I just have to lay out and piece the last 3 rows, and then I can start assembling rows. So let me get started on it. Alright, so I've already got that one done. Oh, let me actually move this, because I don't need that. Now, if I have counted this correctly and cut the pieces correctly, I should have nothing left when I get there. Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't plug this in over here. So let me get this plugged in, because I'm going to have to re-iron some of these pieces. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, towards the yellow. So it needs to go towards the yellow. And then towards the purple, So these all need to be ironed the opposite ways for the seams. And that's the trick. Whenever you're doing my patterns or patterns like this, if you're trying to nest the seams and you want the seams to go a certain way, don't be afraid to re-iron them. I've just got to wait for my iron to warm up. It's my dinner. I didn't get a chance to eat anything before I started streaming because I was working on that pattern. Alright, good to go. It's one of the reasons why I love this iron so much. It does not take long for it to warm up. Okay, that looks good. Now today's stream is only going to be 2 hours instead of the minimum 3 that it normally is. And that's because, if you couldn't tell, there's a Capitals game tonight. And it is playoffs. So at 7:30, when the Caps game starts up, I am going to go watch it. For a second there, I thought I was pinning it the wrong way, but I'm not. The seams in this row should be pointing to the left. Okay, and now the last 2 rows. So, after this last set of rows, I should have 0 pieces. And I'm going to roll my sleeves up because they're getting in the way. I've never sewn with a jersey on before. Alright. Come on. There we go. Huh. I apparently cut a lot more of these than what I needed. I wonder why. Oh, you know what? I missed them here, I think. Nope. Nope, I've got it right there. Okay, so I didn't miss it there. I wonder why I have more of these. Yeah, I'll stick them over there. Get them out of the way at least. So that is something I'm going to have to research to see if my pattern is off or if I cut it wrong. But I'll deal with that whenever I'm done. 1, 2. And I didn't cut enough of these. Alright, so No. Okay, my pattern is correct. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 17. Alright, well that's wrong. Should be 17. Wonder how I missed that whenever I made it after I did the pattern. That's okay. There's still plenty of fabric. So it's not like it added any additional fabric to the actual cuts. And that's the thing that would have been important. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, great. And she's done. Still need to do that so I don't get lost whenever I pin. Whenever I sew it, iron it, and pin it. I just realized I didn't put this over here. There we go. So I can see the chat. Now I can see chat. All right, I've got there. Okay, that's all good. Let me get sewing. Except on my shoelace. Five, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I was counting to make sure I knew where the strip went because I'm making 2 quilts at the same time. I'm making 2 tops, so I've got them split over here. So this is the front one. There we go. Marley. You're fine. You can go lay back in your bed. That's a good boy. When I first started sewing just now, apparently the sound scared him and he came out from under the bed under my desk to sit and look at me like, are you okay? Are you going to keep doing this? It's a lot of noise. So he's gone back under, so I think he's okay now. Going back to my old habits instead of using my cool new tool. right. Alright, now this one has 6 pieces in it. So what I'm going to do is take off the first piece because this little tiny piece here makes 7. So I want to make sure that I include that little piece. So I'm taking off the first piece, putting it over there, and then piecing the rest of it. And my seams point to the right, so I don't have to worry about laying all these pieces out to make sure that they're correct. Because I've ironed them a certain way. I've laid them a certain way, so I know they're correct whenever my seams point the right way. Now I'm making 2 of the same quilt, so that tells me that this one's going to be the exact same. But the point why I did this is I want to free this one so I can iron and pin them all at the same time. They do love barking at people going by the house, don't they? Okay, so again, this one has 6. Seams point to the right. So I'm going to pull that one off to include that little straggler. Okay, so this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. So the next 2 are going to be the same. Let me move these over because I don't want to hit my lights. Now I normally have this light here on to give me some extra light so I can really see everything. The only problem is it glares off the cameras. So I can't turn that one on whenever I'm streaming. The light is so powerful, it whitewashes everything. Okay, so this one seems to point to the left. And I'm taking off the top one because I want to include that little straggler. I was asked earlier if I'm going to be part of Cheryl Sloboda's blog hop this year. The answer is no, because I don't have time. I only have 2 weeks before before I leave for my next convention. So I only have 2 weeks to get this stuff done. And then right after that, the weekend after, I'll be in Virginia for Tidewater Comic Con. I am going to be at Spring Market doing all sorts of things. So there is no way that I'm going to have time to work on my studio. Now, does it need cleaned? Oh yeah. Even though I just redesigned it in January so I could start live streaming on Twitch, it has gotten messy. So this all is somewhat clean. Behind the camera, yeah, no, it's a mess. So I really do need to clean it, but unfortunately I don't have time at this moment to do that. So I told her next year I would love to do it, and I will make sure that I make time for it. I actually completely forgot about it. But there are some amazing people this year that she has lined up for the spring hop. So it's muppin.com, M-U-P-P-I-N. She announces all of the people participating on Sunday. So Sunday she's announcing all the participants, and then the hop starts Monday. So each day on her blog is going to be a different person that is cleaning their space and talking about it. So I am super excited to take a look at it and read it, because there are some amazing people that she knows that I hope are involved in it. Even last year, the one that I participated in last year, I learned so many different things from people. Okay, so there are 4 for this one. So, because I've started these rows with a piece out, I'm going to do that one. Oh, hey, Iron Bands. Graham, how are you? Yeah, I know. It's, have you seen the spring blog hop that Muppin does? Cheryl Sloboda does on her site? I participated in it last year, but I just don't have time this year. Yeah, so it's, yeah, last year was all about cleaning my space and putting more shelving up, because I had a few shelves that had collapsed in on each other last year that I replaced and rebuilt. And I was thinking, and I told her I was thinking of just talking about, because I actually did a blog on my own personal blog about my studio redesign for Twitch. So I told her, I was like, well, I could just give you that one. And she says, well, it's not really a new I'm like, yeah, okay. So I passed on it this year. But no, I actually was thinking about that, about doing a behind the scenes blog about what our spaces look on the other side of the camera, about how, yeah, it's not pretty over there at all. It really needs cleaned. Because I get so busy, you get so busy, you just throw things places, right? So maybe I'll do that sometime this summer. Do a behind the scenes. Especially after Spring Market too. I'm going to come home with so many things from Spring Market. It's going to be ridiculous. And it's just going to be piled up everywhere, and yeah. I still haven't gone through all this stuff from Fall Market. That's awesome. I really should. Alright. I'm going to share my mess one of these days. I've got, you can't see it, but there's like a little wooden thing back there. My little sayings that I like. That one says, a creative mind is not a tidy one. Oh, I popped in your stream today, and I took a look at your layout. I really like it. I like that green. You're right. That's really cool. I should have mine all done by the end of next weekend. I would have had it a few weeks ago, but I've asked him to do all of the banners and graphics for all my social media, so it all matches. So he added a few more weeks on, obviously. But I should have it in about a week and a half. So I'm excited. Just in time for me to leave for another few weeks. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to having all my social media match, with Twitch included. Right now, it's just the stuff I have right now on Twitch for my banner, which is just basically my business card that I have photoshopped and played with. And I do not like it. Marley, honey, you can't lay there. That's my pedal. You can't lay on the pedal. Silly dog. Alright, so to the right. So this one's on top, so it goes here. Oh, nope, I want to do two at a time. When I get down this far and there's only two pieces to combine, when I'm making two quilts at a time, I like to combine them together. Just makes it more efficient. Okay, and this is to the right. This one goes on top. Yeah, I knew I would be in a crunch after C2E2, but it doesn't make it any better. There we are. Now I can use this and free it. Alright, honey, you gotta move, Marley. He's like laying right on my pedal. Good boy. Yeah, go back into your home. It's a good boy. Marley has been super, super needy since I've gotten back from Chicago. Like he's afraid I'm gonna leave again. Here we go. So what projects do you have coming up, Iron Bandsgram? I saw that you're working on, what was it, a prom dress? It was some kind of formal dress that you were working on. And if anyone is watching this on YouTube, make sure you go check out Iron Bandsgram's channel. It's pretty cool. In fact, I was streaming her this morning. Whenever she was streaming. To the left. Oh, a commencement. Okay, that's what it was. The commencement gown robe. I remember looking at it this morning and thinking, oh, that's really cool. For some reason, I couldn't remember what it was. Okay, and the last one goes to the right. Oh, cool. I didn't watch that far. I was just popped in whenever you were actually working on the commencement gown. What is the is your guild challenge? There we go. Oh, I love ombres. I love ombre fabrics. That sounds really cool. Alright, I'm gonna have to go back and watch your stream today to see how you did it. That's really cool. My guild challenge this year it's Canada's 150th birthday. So there's a whole big thing across Canada for quilts for the Canada 150, and apparently every single quilt guild that participates, the winner of each quilt guild goes to the regionals, and it's kind of, this big competition. I didn't make anything. I was thinking about it and I'm like, I just don't have the time. So I didn't participate this year. See, modern split, that sounds so cool. That's one thing I want to do more of, is use ombre fabrics, but I haven't been able to figure out how to incorporate them into the pixel quilting. Okay, this is to the right. And now, this is the final one, so I will split this now into 2 rows for the rows to be combined. So that's for the first quilt. for the second one. Come on. There we go. Couldn't get it open. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, these point to the left. That one. I'm like, why am I making 2 new rows? There we go. Now these I'm going to set aside because this is actually the last row. I have an odd number of rows for this pattern, so this one doesn't get combined with the one in front of it. This is row 15. So that goes over there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to combine these together first, and then I'll run this through. Okay, and this goes to the left. Hey, look, I didn't flip that piece this time. First time I made that one. This is the one that I flipped, and I didn't realize it until I had already pinned the quilt. So as I said last night, I have the room at the Family Center to pin the quilts on Monday. So Monday night will probably be quilting night, and Wednesday will probably be binding night. I just need to get as many tops done as I possibly can to get everything pinned. So now I've got to look under the desk every time I sew to make sure the dog's not there. Left. Go. And that one belongs in the second quilt. So I've got them split here if you didn't see it yesterday. I've got one set right here and then the other set over here. In fact, let me move this a little closer. There we go. Okay, so I've got my, my hanging rack right here with all of my pieces. So I've got all of the pieces done. Now comes my favorite part where I'm actually combining it all together. So let me do 2 at a time. So these have already been sewn because I got most of them sewn today. So now I just need to iron. Oh, before I do that, let me iron these. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Okay, so now I can iron them and sew them together. So let me take that completely away so I can see my entire pattern. This is where I can start to make sure that there's no pieces done wrong, and there's not for this one. So I'm going to be combining them together one quilt at a time. And of course I'm pinning all of the seams first. That seam wasn't laying down properly, so I couldn't nest it properly. There we go. So I'm nesting the seams, making sure that those seams are lining right up against each other, and then pinning them in place to make sure that I have perfect points. And then after I pin these nested seams. I go back and pin down other seams. So in this case, there's a seam on the bottom, but not the top. So I'm just pinning it to hold it in place to make sure that the sewing machine doesn't pick it up and fold it over. So it's nice and flat. There we go. There's my first one. Uh-oh. I think I have a piece upside down. No, I don't. Okay, good. I was afraid that this was supposed to connect with this, and it doesn't. It's part of the boot. Okay, good. Good, good, good. That scared me. Okay, she goes this way. I was just double checking to make sure all the pieces were correct. Yep, looks good. Oh, hi Topical. C2E2 was amazing. I loved it. Loved every moment of it. It was it's really, really, really nice. I got to see some old friends, met some new ones. I'm in a rush making more Amazon Warriors. And then next up is going to be the Japanese Wood Spirit because I sold each of my samples. So I need to make sure I have new samples for the next convention. Everyone loved the patterns and the kits. And I had, oh, hi JJ Tops. I did not make room for pizza. We never got a chance because we were staying in Little Village. So there was a ton of amazing Latin food. So we had mostly Latin food. Although I did have some of the knockoff pizza at the convention from one of the stands. So the best part about C2E2 was I met the owner of the Quilted Trunk there in Chicago, which is a quilt store. And they are now carrying my patterns. So anyone in the Chicago area can now find my patterns at the Quilters Trunk. I always want to say quilted, but it's Quilters. Luckily, last time I was in Chicago, I did eat at, oh, what's it called? Begins with a G. The one that Chicago's known for, the really, really awesome pizza place. Giordano's, I think is what it's called. So I've had it before. It's, yeah, Giordano's. It's a, it's more like a soup than it is a pizza. If you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere else, if you've never had Chicago deep dish pizza, it's just, yeah, it's unique. It is quite unique. So luckily I've had it before, so I didn't have to have it. And then Sunday night we finished it out with the Japanese steakhouse that's there, which is always amazing. And that is this way, because that's the top. Okay, that one's good. So I am back for... Yes and no. I had I did try 2 beers. Yeah, see, I love thin crust too. I'm not a thick crust person. I did have a couple of beers, but I brought back a whole bunch with me. So I brought a case of beer back with a whole bunch of different kinds of beer. Because, yeah, Chicago has some amazing freaking beer, and I have some in the fridge that at 7:30 when I stop streaming to go watch some hockey, I'm going to be drinking some of that beer. But no, I agree. I cannot wait. So Spring Market this year is in St. Louis. Love, love, love the St. Louis beer. They have some amazing breweries down there, and I cannot wait to check them out. Apparently you're lame. That's funny. Yes. Yes, I did have a Revolution. In fact, they not only did a special brew, but of course they have the stand in C2E2, so you can actually drink it at the convention. So I did have one of those. The only thing I don't like is they, Revolution just does the IPA for C2E2. And I'm not a big IPA person. I'm a dark beer. I like porters, brown ales, you know, the darker style beers. But I picked up a couple of really good oak cask kind of aged dark beers from Chicago, and I don't remember the brewery. Oh, and I should show you guys. Thanks to Laura and Scott, who I love them to death, of course my main minions, they work part-time at Metal Monkey. Apparently that Saturday, Metal Monkey had a party where they had their limited edition dark beer in the bottles being released, so they snagged me one. Even though I was working, they grabbed me one, they gave it to me Sunday night. Almost made me cry. I'm so happy. That's not in the fridge for tonight, but I will be drinking it. So I have some really awesome limited edition beer. I'm thinking when I'm down in Maryland with my my friends down there, we may do a beer party, and I'll bring some of that to share. All right. I need to free this one. I know. You know how much I want to run upstairs right now and grab the bottles to show you guys? So excited for it. You know, I love me some beer. Yeah, it is 6. I'm thinking the cap's in 5. 5 games. So game starts 1 hour. Because you know the Penguins have got to go down this year. The Caps are hungry. And after last year, whenever they lost the Pens, I have faith this year. And you know why I have faith? Because I can't freaking make it to any of these playoff games until like game 6. Because I'm not going down until, yeah, champion. Exactly, I like that. I like that wording. So I'm going down, driving down to Maryland the day after Free Comic Book Day. So May the 7th, I think it is. Maybe the 6th, whatever Sunday that is. That's when I'm driving down. So I'm not down there for any of these games. My parents are at the game tonight. So I'm hoping I'm not going to see any of the games because the Caps have won before I'm down there. And then I can go to round 3 games that aren't during Tidewater Comic Con or Spring Market. Because the second weekend of May, I'll be in Virginia Beach. The third weekend, I'll be in St. Louis, drinking some awesome St. Louis beer while I'm at Spring Market. Here we are, and I'm gonna sew her upside down. You know what? I don't hate him. He annoys me, but I don't hate him. Oh, I don't think I've ever told you guys a story of what Mike did to me whenever we were first dating. So we were dating during the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, that Crosby got the game-winning goal. And I was at a friend's house watching, hockey friends. I was at their house watching the game. And we were watching it. And, of course, Crosby gets the winning goal. And Mike calls me on my cell phone, says, "It's our game, B," and then slams the phone on me. So, now, of course, we're dating. I start laughing hysterically. Like, how can I be mad at him for that one? So, the next summer, I'm up visiting, and we went to Toronto for the weekend, kind of just to get away. So, in Toronto is the Hockey Hall of Fame. So, we're in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and we're just walking along. Next thing I know, Mike grabs me, turns me, and holds me, and doesn't let me go. I'm like, what are you doing? I look up. On the big screen is Crosby's game-winning goal in the Olympics over and over and over and over. Yeah. So it's not that I hate him. It's that my husband likes to rub him in my face because he's Canadian. Yeah. And he's a bit of a crybaby. All right. Go. Although I'm really excited for the game tonight. I kept deciding back and forth because 2 weeks ago when they played on Thursday, Mike had a softball game, and I went to the game and watched it in the bar there. And they won. So part of me is like, oh, maybe I should go tonight. But then the other part is going, I can't stream tomorrow. So I kind of wanted to stream tonight. So I stayed home. So if they lose, I'm going to blame myself. Although, whenever we were in Chicago, they won 3 in a row, and I was wearing this jersey. And I didn't wear any jerseys for any of the previous games. I just kind of watched it and actually wear my jersey. So, gotta wear the jersey now. All the superstitious stuff, right? this is the part where it all starts to come together, and that is not right. Nope, it was right. That's her skirt. Yeah, because there's the boots. And the skirt. And that's the bottom of the chest piece. Yeah, it all looks good. Fantastic. Yeah. Poor, poor Chicago. I assume that's who you're talking about is the Blackhawks. Yeah, no, I agree. I really, really want the Caps to actually do something and not be kicked out in round 2 like they almost always are. I was really hoping that the Blackhawks would do well this year. Go Bulls. You know, it's funny because that's what everyone in Toronto is doing now. They're going, oh, hockey's over. Go basketball. For Go Raptors. And I'm like, I honestly didn't even realize that the Toronto had a basketball team until about a week ago. I mean, it'd be amazing if the Caps won, not just for them, but for Barry Trotz too. I mean, he has been so close so many times. And he is such an amazing coach. And I really, really like the Blackhawks as a team, too. They're my, the West Coast team that I cheer for. Unless they're playing the Capitals, of course. Oh, Boudreaux. Sorry, I just think it's funny. I'm thinking back to the ESPN series they did on the Caps with Boudreaux. And everything is F this and F that and F this in the locker room. He was interesting. Poor Boudreaux just didn't know how to motivate, unfortunately. Although he's doing pretty good now, for the most part. You know, I'm really surprised about is, crud. Conbrain. I can't think. He's coaching the, Blue Jackets. Used to coach the Rangers. Potty Mouth. Can't even think of his name. Anyways, I'm surprised he hasn't, gotten in trouble with the Columbus media yet. With that mouth of his. That's another... I was really hoping the Blue Jackets would have done... Yeah, Tortorella. Thank you. I was really hoping the Blue Jackets were going to do well. Because I've got a bunch of friends in the Columbus area. And that would have been really fun if the Capitals would have played the Blue Jackets. Because then I could have taunted all my friends. Alright. There you go, she's coming together. Now, because I've got 2 pieces now of her left for this first quilt, at this point I'm going to go through and start sewing all the rows for the second quilt together. It's just more efficient that way. Alright, so I should get most of her done. I may be able to get the whole thing done. I still have to add on the first bit of edging. I call it the first border in the actual pattern, but it's not really a border, it's more of like a separation, in case you want to add borders. I wonder if they're going to start coverage at 7 or if they're actually going to start coverage at 7:30. When I saw it was on NBC, I was like, oh no, late start. I really don't want all those overtimes in this series. That was way too many overtimes against the Maple Leafs. Yes. Alright, where is... Now for these 2. Now again, I've already sewn together some of these rows. So, I'm just going to iron and combine until I get to the ones that haven't been sewn yet. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I don't know anything that's in the Virginia Beach area. Because I'm going to St. Louis the weekend after, and they have all those amazing breweries. I don't know of anything in Virginia Beach. Okay. I don't think I know anyone that lives down there either. Well, it's a brand new convention for me. I figured each year I can take the chance on one new one. And that's my one new one this year. Now, you know what? Now I was just thinking, now you guys have got me thinking about pizza. And all I could think about is the Papa John's thin crust pizza, which is my favorite. I like to get, and of course it's half off today. Whenever the Wizards win or the Capitals win in playoffs, it's half off the next day. I like to get the Papa John's thin crust 4-cheese pizza with tomatoes and onions. And then some pepperoncinis to eat with it, just because they're delicious. It's that way. Papa bless. Well, hopefully I can have some half-off Papa John's when I am in Maryland when they win a bunch of games. Cross my fingers. Okay, that looks good. No alerts? Oh! Hi! Hi, I am DMO. No, because I've got the, it popped up. Thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate that. No, it did. It popped up on the thing right in the middle, down below. It just takes a few minutes. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. See, I've got it that way. That way it stays there and it doesn't just pop up and go away. I'm in the process of getting my entire layout and everything redone so that you'll get a little thing that pops up with hearts. The reason I didn't notice it right away is because I've got the chat on this one and I've got my alerts on that one. Oh, good. So I did put the little message on there. Fantastic. I thought I put it on there. But I wanted to make sure I put the event list on there so it stayed. Again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, there's that one. 1, 2. All right, now I'm going to have to start sewing these. And then I'll sew that one together. I love you guys. Yeah, I cannot wait until Art by Saint finishes my new layout and all of my new designs and everything. It's gonna be so cool. Like I said, so my donations, he's gonna have it like pop up and have like little hearts everywhere, all around it. He's working right now on all my social media integration. So then that way all of my graphic art for my Twitch is going to match all the graphic art with all my social media. I should have it, I think, the Monday after Free Comic Book Day, so in 2 weeks. I just need to figure out a way to stream while I'm in Maryland. When I stay at my parents' house, they have my sewing machine and my area set up in the living room. Well, that's where all the dogs are, and that's where the TV is, so it's way too noisy to stream. So I need to try to figure out a way that I can continue to stream while I'm down there. And I told my husband, as long as the Capitals are in the playoffs, I'm not coming home. There she is. I know one day I can stream while I'm actually pinning, so you can see how I pin quilts. That's easy to do. All right. There we are. That's what it is. Perfect. Well, I'm at least going to have her done for Tidewater. So anything else going on with any of you guys? I'm watching how the back of my Amazon Warrior in the picture looks just distorted because it's the back of the fabric. Okay, so she's gonna go here. Marley, honey, you're on my foot pedal. You're very cute. Come here. Would you like a treat? Come here. Come here. Come over here, baby. Right here. Is this what you want? All right, now you gotta go away. You can't. Ah, that's a good boy. That's one way to move him. I think he's starting to pull the soleil in that he sits like right there in the hopes I give him something. So there's a couple of different kinds of conventions. So let me start out with the base of conventions. There's a couple of different kinds of conventions that I do. I do video game conventions. I do pop culture conventions. So New York Comic Con, C2E2 are considered pop culture conventions. And then I do smaller Comic Cons. Oh, Awesome Con's another pop culture. So the smaller Comic-Cons are like the true Comic-Cons where it's like a throwback, where it's mostly based around comics, artists, creators, things like that. C2E2 is actually, even though I consider it a pop culture, it's actually a mixture, I think, of the pop culture comic book. But it's not a small one, it's a larger one. It reminds me a lot with Baltimore, in that it has a lot of comic book dealers. Like, if you ever are looking for a rare or limited edition comic book and you don't want to get it online because you want to actually feel it and look at the condition, C2E2 is a great one for that. So C2E2 and Baltimore Comic Con are both good conventions for stuff like that. So it's big like a pop culture. So it's, the way that they have it set out is that you walk in and you have a bunch of the really big, nice vendors. You have a lot of the big names. So Image is there, Dark Horse is there, Marvel's got a stand, DC's got a stand. You of course have the Tower of T-shirts, for the Stylin' Tower T-shirts, Stylin' Online. You've got, of course, T-Turtle's there. I love T-Turtle. But you've got a lot of big names, but you also have a lot of small names. So they have it split out. You walk in, you've got a bunch of big names. So imagine this is, here, I'll do it from the camera this way. So this is the floor. This is the entrance. As you walk in, you've got a bunch of big names right here. You turn left, this entire strip down here is Author's Alley. So they have a lot of small press, so comic book authors, regular authors, basically anyone considered small press can be down in that aisle. Then so that's on this aisle. In the middle here, after the big names, they have the block. And the block is supposed to be handmade, up-and-comers, you know, kind of edgy, just really cool things. So they offered a position in the block for me, but I turned them down because it's a bit more expensive than where I am. So I'm just in a regular dealer area. So, but the block's a really cool area. I always love looking at the block. And then, so we have the Author's Alley, we've got the block. If you turn to the right, this whole area here is all comic book dealers. So they have all of the comic book dealers in the same area, which is pretty cool. And then the other areas around it are dealers, retailers, things like that. The very far back right area over here is the Artist Alley. And their Artist Alley are only 2D artists. So there's some conventions that I can be in the Artist Alley because it's handmade. It's textile art. But not C2E2. They have it so their Artist Alley is only 2D art, no 3D art. So I wouldn't qualify. So that's the layout. And this year, they started something new and they actually had a cosplay corner, which was pretty cool. I actually went and took a look at it. They had demonstrations. They had all sorts of really cool stuff for cosplay. So it was really nice. It was really, really well done. And then, you know, Bernita was back there. There's a bunch of people back there. So I thought it was pretty cool. So that's the layout and the feeling of C2E2, and it's really, really cool. So the convention itself, I was so busy, literally, I got in the morning, set up the booth, and was there the entire day. Like, I didn't leave. So my minions that were helping me for this convention, I set them out to go get me food and bring it back to me because I just couldn't leave. It was that busy. The only time I left was about an hour before we closed on Saturday because I went to the costume contest. It was really, really cool. So the costume contest at C2E2 this year was the Crown Championship. So what they did is Reed Pop, who is the owner of C2E2, who also owns New York Comic Con, owns constant traffic. It was just, and it wasn't constant selling, but constant talking to people and just interacting, and it was awesome. It was really, really good. So Reed Pop owns a whole bunch of conventions for different shows around the world. So what they did this year is they they flew in all of their winners from each of the conventions around the world, and they had a kind of cosplay off. So they had the local Chicago one, and I knew one of the cosplayers that was in it, Mog Shell, so I went to cheer her on. She was amazing. So she had a Rydia cosplay from Final Fantasy, and loved it so much. It was amazing. So they did, and she didn't win. I was a little upset. That's okay. The person that won was absolutely stunning. So they had the local Chicago one, and then the winner of the Chicago one, they had go face to face with the New York Comic Con winner, because they wanted to have a North American winner face off against everyone from around the world. So then once they did that, they immediately went in and they picked the winner from the world, and it was just the level of cosplay was just amazing. It was awesome. I'm really glad I went. So that's the biggest thing that I got to see at C2E2, because we were so busy the entire time. I normally bring back gifts for my family. I had to go around Sunday morning before the convention opened. I ran in, got the booth set up, and then went around and bought what I needed to buy before the doors opened to the public. So that's how busy I was. And I got back and I had to apologize to them. I'm like, I'm sorry. It felt like it was New York Comic Con busy. Like, it was a constant, steady flow of people. Because New York Comic Con, I can never leave the booth either. It's like, once I'm there, I'm there. I go to the bathroom before the doors open, and I go to the bathroom when the doors close. But it was fun. It's, C2E2 is a great convention, especially if you want to see cosplay. Oh my god, I can't believe I missed it. So, if you search online, search the Married with Children cosplay from C2E2. You need to see this. And if you do it, let me know, and then I'll talk about it, because I'm just, yeah. I didn't get to see this in person. We were sitting at dinner Sunday night, and I saw a post about it, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I wanted to go, yeah. No, it's freaking amazing. Yes, that is it. So, you see that couch they're on? So, apparently, there are wheels on that couch, and they basically hooked it up to a car and towed it down the freaking highway to get it to the convention. And they plopped that couch down and basically just sat there the entire time while people took pictures. I'm like, that is dedication to your cosplay. I can't believe I didn't see it. So there's the big, so as you go, if you've been to McCormick Place, you know as you go in, you got the big open area, and then you actually have 2 landings before you get up into the hall for the South Hall. So cosplayers will not only be in the bottom area in the front lobby, but they'll line up in all of those landings, and they'll take pictures with you. They'll have dance-offs. Of course, there were a couple of Guardians of the Galaxy's, you know, cosplays where, of course, they had to have dance-offs. But no, it's a good time. It's a good convention. It's one where if you've always wanted to go to New York, but you can't get into New York because of they sell out every time, go to C2E2. It is much, much better than the other Comic-Con in the city that happens that they shall not be named, because I won't do those. I did a couple last year and never again. But yeah, no, C2E2 is fun. It's good. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any good stories of anything that happened except for that. That's my only problem, is that I am in the booth the whole day, and then I'm so tired. We literally go back to our place, have a drink, and go to sleep. Yeah, see, if you're just looking at the cosplay from C2E2, it's awesome. I mean, that's the only thing I wish that I could have done. I did last year at C2E2 that I couldn't do this year, is walk out in the middle of the day and just see all of the amazing cosplay. Especially Saturday. Saturday is the day to see it. Oh, and there's this little girl that last year, she was a skating BB-8. So I think she was maybe 9 or 10. Oh, okay. No, that's not the one. Look up Mogshell. Mogchelle. So Mogshell did Rydia. Rydia. That's the Final Fantasy one that my friend did. That's really good. So yeah, so this little girl had an amazing BB-8 cosplay, and she was wearing skates. So she would skate around. So she wore it again this year, and she's just so stinking adorable. And surprisingly, I only saw one hot mess this year. People are getting better with their cosplays. So Awesome Con this year, that's the one in DC, is I really am looking forward to it. They're doing a lot with like science, and Bill Nye is always a guest there. And they've always got all sorts of things. So apparently there's a new convention coming out where science meets fantasy, kind of a science fiction contest thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. And I'm wondering, because there's always been cosplay there, but it hasn't been to the level like C2E2 does. So I'm wondering if it's gonna step up a bit this year. See, that's something with New York that I'm never able to do. I'm never able to see any of the amazing cosplay because I never come back to where I am. In New York, I'm all the way in the very back of the hall. You know I'm keeping a close eye on that time. I'm at least going to get the main bodies done and may or may not get the borders done. It's funny, even though I stop and talk to you guys every now and then, I still move faster when I'm streaming. There's something about chatting with everyone while I'm sewing, it makes me move faster. Which is fantastic. Let me see. I can't pop it in there, can I? Nope. I'm gonna see if I can find Mugshell's cosplay for you. Alright. Oops. Let me turn my sound off so it doesn't bother you. Oh, yeah. Okay, you saw it. Okay, good. All right, so I don't have to worry about that then. Fantastic. Yes. Yeah, the green one. Yeah, no, she's just, yeah, it's awesome. Hi, baby. And you're not going to get anything else from me, although you're very cute. You're very, very cute. There were so, if you even just search the cosplay from the Crown Championship is what it was called. There was a Mohawk from Gremlins. He was awesome. And there was a bunch of stuff from Overwatch. Trying to think, oh my gosh, it was so overwhelming. It was so awesome. And my phone stinks, so I could not get any good pictures. I think the only gossip stuff, Overwatch really is. Alexa Hart did an Overwatch cosplay. I think there was a panel, or there was something going on with Overwatch on Saturday, where there was a ton of people in cosplay. No, but C2E2 is a good one to people watch at. We can just sit back and see everyone. There we go. Hi. I know, you're very cute, but you don't get stuff. You're so stinking cute. Marley's sitting here looking up at me. Like, come on, you want to give me something else, don't you? So, next few streams this weekend. I'm going to stream. Did I drop it? I did drop the pin. Saturday and Sunday afternoon. That way the European people can watch if they want. Monday is going to be quilting day because I'm pinning Monday morning. And then next Wednesday is going to be binding day. So Saturday and Sunday I'll be finishing up. I'll be working on... Oh, hi, Pink Skull. Playing a sewing video game at expert level. I like that. I like that. I like that wording. That's fantastic. I am making my Amazon Warrior quilts from the pattern that I have. Oops, forgot the pin. Because I sold my sample at C2E2, so I need to quickly remake them so I have a sample at Tidewater Comic Con. There we go. So yeah, so the my Japanese wood spirits, based off of a bunch of different things. Totoro, Snorlax, just a bunch of the round ones we took as inspiration for it. I'll be working on him Saturday and Sunday. If I get done with it, I might work on some other things. You know, if they ever came out with a sewing video game, I would so play it. The only thing that I've got so far is the block orientation stuff. Is that a lasso? Hi, codename Shadow. Alright, I've got 15 minutes to work on her, and then it is game time. And then I will be back Saturday afternoon. Oh, okay. I will, okay, tell you what. I'm going to finish these. I'm not going to do the borders. I will just finish these up, and I will go get the beer that I picked up in Chicago. That is amazing beer, and I'm super excited to drink it, and I will show it to you. Just because you asked so nicely. Does this mean after spring market, I'm going to have to show you the beer that I can't get beer in St. Louis. Damn it. I've got, I'm flying to St. Louis. I can't buy beer and bring it home there. I guess I'm going to have to drink all the beer while I'm in St. Louis. Man. Stay. Oh yeah, it's only 6 hours, because I'm in London, Ontario. So it's only a 6-hour drive. It's not bad at all. For some reason, my dashboard went out. Fantastic. Yeah, no, Chicago's only 6 hours away. It's not bad at all. It's, with the trailer, it took me 7 to 8 hours. And the border wasn't bad. Because I do everything that I need to do for, commercially at the border, because I go through the commercial lanes. Because I'm a business, right? So no, not bad at all. Yes and no. So I am, home base operations for me is London, Ontario, where I live. And then I also have another home base in Maryland with my parents. So my parents live in Maryland, so I go there a lot to watch hockey games, because that's where I used to live. And of course I've got season tickets for the Caps. So when I go out there, I normally do it around the Caps games. All of my friends around here keep asking, so why aren't you there yet? Aren't the Capitals playing? Like, yes, C2E2 was late this year. I had that, and I have 2 back-to-back conventions, so haven't head out there yet. All right, let me iron these. I will show her off, and then I will go get the beer to show you. There she is. So there is my Amazon Warrior. And let me iron this one. So next step is pinning her and quilting her. So I will be pinning her on Monday, like I said. So I'll be quilting her Monday night with any other quilts that I'm able to get finished. And there's a second one. Fantastic. All right, I will be right back. I'm going to go grab some beer and show it off. And then I'm going to watch some hockey. Alright. So I've got, first, because Wisconsin, this is not an Illinois beer, but I can't get it anywhere around here or in the States. It is the Tyrrhenia from Wisconsin beer. Brewer, it's the Devil Made Me Do It Coffee Imperial Oatmeal Porter. I've got 2 of these in the fridge to drink tonight. So here are the Metal Monkey beers. You like how they gave me a little baggie too? To protect them. So, I haven't even taken a look at these yet. So these are the ones that were, look at that, the wax. So these are the ones that they released last weekend. Death by Metal. It is a bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Porter. It has nothing on this Imperial Porter. Chocolate and roasted malts balance perfectly with Journeyman's bourbon barrel character. As darkness descends, the shriek of the guitar will be the final sound you hear. That looks good. I cannot wait to drink that. And that's from Metal Monkey. And then here's the other Metal Monkey. Oh, they got me 2 of the same one. Oh, so I can drink one and share one in a bottle share. That is fantastic. I'm happy. I didn't even realize that they got me 2 of the same thing. I thought they got me 2 different ones. That makes me even happier. All right, I'm gonna put this in the fridge and drink it on Saturday for the hockey game Saturday. So, fantastic. All right, so I'm gonna stop a few minutes early because hockey. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for spending some time with me. Oh, Marley, the kitty cat doesn't want to play with you. So like I said, I'm streaming Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, Monday night, Wednesday night. Not sure after that, so I'll get all that figured out and I'll pop it online. Thank you again for the donations. I appreciate it. And yeah, thanks everyone. This will be up on YouTube tomorrow, so if you want to go back and watch any of the things that I did or talked about, you can. So, love you guys. I will see you in 2 days. I'll see you on Saturday. Thanks again.